Winter of 1777 in western Virginia was relentless. Snow blanketed the rolling hills, turning forests and fields into a monochrome world. Thomas MacCready trudged along the frozen road, boots sinking into icy mud, the wind cutting through his coat. Memories of the militia post he had left weeks ago pressed on him. Skirmishes, lost friends, empty beds. Ahead, the homestead appeared, smoke curling from the chimney. Relief touched Thomas's chest, yet unease lingered. The valley was unusually silent. Even the crows were absent. He tightened his grip on the reins of the wagon. Home never felt so fragile. His mother stepped into the snow, her shawl clutched tightly, eyes scanning Thomas's face for signs of harm. "Thomas, you're home," she whispered, voice trembling. Sarah, his younger sister, peeked behind her mother, clutching a rag doll. Did the soldiers come here?" Thomas dropped the reins and pulled them into an embrace. "No, not yet. We're safe, for now." Inside, the house smelled of burning wood and dried herbs. Livestock were thin, barns partially empty. Footprints in the snow hinted at visitors, perhaps neighbors, perhaps scouts. Thomas frowned. Even home had changed. His mother offered him a mug of broth. "You've grown, Thomas, but your eyes, they've seen too much." Thomas nodded. "I know what I must do here. Protect the family. That is my duty." Sarah climbed onto a chair near the fire. "Will Samuel come home?" Thomas's hand rested on hers. "He will. Until then, we watch, we prepare, we protect each other." Later, Thomas retrieved a letter delivered by a weary rider. Samuel's shaky handwriting read, "Brother, the war rages far to the south, yet its shadow reaches our valley. Guard what is ours, protect the family. If we fall, let it not be from negligence." Thomas read aloud, the words hanging in the room. His mother's eyes glistened. Sarah clutched her doll tighter. "I will guard this place," Thomas vowed. His mother placed a wrinkled hand on his arm. "God help you, Thomas." "And God help us all," Sarah whispered. "But Father is gone and Samuel." Thomas knelt beside her. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is standing up despite it. "We will survive, together." The fire flickered, casting shadows. Thomas silently vowed he would not fail them. That night, Thomas patrolled the perimeter, musket ready. The wind rattled the shutters. The house creaked under the cold. Every snap of a branch, every movement outside made him tense. Inside, his mother whispered prayers, and Sarah clutched a quilt. Thomas walked the halls, checking locks, scanning windows, silently promising no harm would come to them under his watch. At dawn, snow-covered fields lay quiet. Thomas inspected the northern fence and saw a musket ball lodged in the post. Old wood, fresh lead. Someone had been watching. He exhaled slowly. The war had followed him home. Survival required vigilance, foresight, and courage. While tending livestock and repairing fences, Thomas paused. Memories of Samuel and his father mingled with present worries. Letters, plans, observations. Every choice mattered. Snow fell heavier, coating the land in silence. The true battle was not only in far-off towns, but in protecting home, family, and hope. Several days later, a rider appeared at the edge of the MacCready farm, urging his horse through the snow. Thomas ran out, heart pounding. The man handed him a letter, sealed with rough wax. Thomas unfolded it carefully. Samuel was wounded but alive. The militia advanced near Charlestown. "Guard what is yours, trust no one outside your fields," the letter warned. Relief was immediate, tempered by fear. Thomas turned to his mother. "He's alive. But for how long can we hold this valley if the war comes closer?" She placed a hand on his shoulder. "We have each other. That must be enough." Life became a balance between survival and vigilance. Thomas traded flour and eggs for firewood and chickens at neighboring farms. Each trip into the woods carried tension. Every snapped branch, every rustle of snow-laden brush could signal danger. Inside, the children asked questions he could not fully answer. Sarah's voice trembled. "Will the soldiers find us?" Thomas knelt beside her. "We prepare, we stay alert, and we protect one another. Fear alone does not keep the doors closed. Our actions do." The days passed in this rhythm. Chores, patrols, and constant observation of the land. Every step, every sound demanded attention. By the seventh night, the valley felt different. Footprints appeared in the snow, leading nowhere. Branches were broken, as if something unseen had passed through. Familiar paths seemed altered. While mending a fence, Thomas reflected. The true threat was not only the distant war, but the persistent vigilance required at home. Every shadow could conceal danger. Every neighbor could be a potential ally or enemy. Evenings were spent quietly around the hearth. The family exchanged whispered reassurances and prayers, small rituals that maintained morale. Thomas kept a journal, noting patterns, threats, and the farm's vulnerabilities. Survival demanded preparation, patience, and careful observation. Despite the tension, small moments of life persisted. Sarah helped with chores, her youthful curiosity clashing with fear. Thomas's mother tended the garden as best she could under snow, preserving roots and herbs. Thomas would pause, observing his family, reminding himself why he fought not only against soldiers, but against fear itself. Their bond was their true shield. In the evenings, Thomas taught the children simple safety drills, how to move quietly and remain calm. He explained that courage was not the absence of fear, but acting in spite of it. Supplies dwindled. Thomas rationed carefully: flour, dried meat, firewood. Every decision carried weight. One missed detail could mean disaster. As he patched roofs and reinforced fences, Thomas considered the meaning of home. It was not merely walls and livestock. It was the people within and the memories that gave the land life. Protecting it was more than duty. It was honor. By nightfall, he walked the perimeter again. The valley lay quiet, yet he remained alert, noting small disturbances in the snow. Every shadow seemed longer. Every gust of wind carried the possibility of danger. Even with Samuel recovering and the militia nearby, Thomas felt the tension of constant uncertainty. The snow fell steadily, muffling distant sounds, but amplifying his awareness. The family shared meals by candlelight, their conversations measured, laced with concern for what lay beyond the hills. Each night, Thomas reaffirmed his vigilance. The farm, the home, the people he loved were worth every sacrifice. The story closes part 2 with a sense of rising tension. The family survives, but every day brings the threat closer. Their unity and preparedness are their only assurance against an uncertain and dangerous world. A week later, a storm rolled across the valley. Rain lashed the roof, and thunder rolled like distant cannons. Thomas paced the parlor, musket in hand, ears straining against the wind's howl. The homestead felt fragile, yet defiant, like the family itself. Inside, the children huddled close to their mother, seeking warmth and reassurance. Shadows danced across walls lined with years of family history. Thomas glanced at each familiar object: the hearth, the worn furniture, the faded curtains, and realized that every piece carried stories of endurance and sacrifice. At the forest edge, a small party of Continental soldiers appeared, their muskets slung, faces weary yet determined. Sergeant Alcott stepped forward. "They've raided farms nearby," he said quietly. Keep your doors locked, and trust no one outside your fields. Thomas nodded, the weight of responsibility pressing down. We will prepare. Thank you for your warning. Alcott departed, leaving Thomas with the gravity of his duty. He turned to his family. We fortify what we can. Remain vigilant and never falter. This is our home. Our duty is to protect it. Even with the soldiers gone, unease lingered. Thomas inspected the perimeter daily, repaired fences, and ensured weapons were ready. Footprints in the snow sometimes appeared mysteriously, vanishing before he could follow. He spent evenings teaching the children to move quietly, recognize danger, and act decisively. Courage is not the absence of fear, he reminded them, but the choice to act despite it. Meals were quiet, punctuated with whispered prayers. Each night, Thomas reflected on the precarious balance between hope and danger. The farm was more than land. It was a symbol of their resilience, their unity, and their love. A few days later, another letter arrived. Samuel, though weakened from wounds, was returning home. Relief washed over Thomas and his mother, mingled with sorrow for those who would never return. When Samuel finally appeared at the homestead, the reunion was heartfelt. Tears, laughter, and quiet embraces filled the room. Thomas realized that even in war, hope could endure if carefully nurtured. Thomas strengthened the fences, ensured rifles were within reach, and instructed the children and neighbors on emergency protocols. Every night, as wind swept through the trees, he reflected on what they had endured: courage, resilience, and unity. The valley remained tense, the distant war an ever-present shadow, yet the MacCready family endured. Their strength was not in armies, but in their bond, vigilance, and unwavering commitment to each other. Though the war raged beyond the hills, and threats remained unseen, the family remained prepared. Thomas walked the perimeter at dusk, snow crunching beneath his boots, musket in hand, eyes scanning every shadow. The story closes with a sense of quiet resilience and readiness. Threats may return, danger may loom, but the MacCready family, united by courage and love, will meet it together. Every choice, every act of vigilance, every moment of shared courage was a testament to the endurance of the human spirit. The valley may be uncertain, the war may rage, but the family stands firm, steadfast and unbroken.